Hello there everyone, welcome back to another video about a children's trading card game. I'm going to apologise right now for the audio and video quality. I'm travelling, I don't have my normal setup, I don't have my mic, I don't have my camera. Hopefully that will be back very soon, but let's go ahead and get started. So we've actually had the entire film starter deck revealed over the last 2 weeks or so, and because I knew it was coming out so soon after set 1, I actually figured it was better to just wait and just talk about the reveals in their entirety, because it does seem like this whole deck is very much in attribute. So let's go ahead and get started with the leader. So it is Shanks. It is a 5k slasher. Activate main once per turn, Don -3. Your film characters gain plus 2k during this turn. So this is essentially going at bare minimum. Every single one of your film units is going to rip an additional card out of your opponent's hand. The exception, of course, being when it comes to events, but also 1k cards. Obviously, if you have any kind of developed board, this is going to be really scary. The downside of this effect is it's not really going to do anything for the first few turns of the game. However, once you hit 10 Don, you can do this basically every single turn. It's like a Don -1 on that one turn, but purple has so many ways of ramping that that's really not a problem, and you will like pretty much always be able to just like do this again and again and again and again and again, to just swing for massive numbers once you hit that stage in the game. So I think this is a really scary leader effect, where the weakness is obviously going to be in being rushed down or being controlled so you're not able to develop a board. So a very fair leader effect, but obviously if it goes off and you're able to get that combo together where you have like a 3+ character board, then that's going to be really scary. And the film characters we're going to see really do synergize with this. So let's go ahead and talk about this. So our first one here, Ein. This is a 4-drop 5k on play, add a Don and rest it. This is obviously very good. Just a good ramp. Mainly as well, it is a 4-drop 5k. 5k, of course, letting you hit basically everything. We know how important it is to be able to clear units and to be able to deal damage. Though, of course, dealing damage every turn is more and more becoming something you don't actually necessarily want to do, because of how important card advantage is in this game. But yeah, I think this is probably going to see play. I am iffy because obviously it is film attributed, but it doesn't have counter and it doesn't really do anything that crazy that it's not like we don't have enough ramp cards already. So it's really going to come down to how necessary that particular film attribute is in making this deck go. And to be fair, you might not even need to build around Shanks. It's possible you just go with something else like Blurple Kaido or something, and you just play some of these cards because there are some really generically powerful cards in here. Uta, this is a 4-drop blocker, and on block Don -1, you rest one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. So this is actually quite a powerful effect, in theory. The downside is there are lots of ways to deal with these kind of blockers. You can rest them, you can remove them, like basically every single top tier deck in the format has a way of making this completely invalid. And we're seeing big blockers are like very much meta, so people are main decking ways to deal with them. Which makes me think this card is actually not going to be super good because everyone's like main decking ways to go around it. In theory, this card's very good. I just think in practice, because of the way the meta is developing as of the time of this recording in very late July, it seems like this is not going to be super great. Okay, then we got Karina, and this is a really interesting card. So counter plus 1k on a 2-drop 3k. Main once per turn, rest this character, trash a film card from your hand. If your opponent has more Don cards on their field than you, add 2 Don cards from your Don deck and rest them. So what does this mean? Either you're against a ramp deck, because the only way your opponent will have more Don than you on their turn, on your turn, is if they have ramped, or if you have done a Don -X skill. And weirdly, because even though this reads like it should be broken, when you think about that in terms of gameplay, how much early game Don minus do you really want to be doing? Do you really want to be playing a lot of these early Don minus cards just to combo with Karina? And remember, it has to be a Don -2 or 2 Don -1s over 2 turns in order for this card to go live. I'm not convinced this is going to be crazy. In my mind, it's basically going to be like one of two ways, right? Either it's going to be completely broken, essential, and you build around it and it's nuts, or it's just useless and you never want to touch this card. So we're going to see which way it goes, but I am very interested to see and to try out these new purple cards. Okay, next we've got Tesoro. When attacking, Don -2, draw 2. So obviously this is really good. 5-drop 6k is like well statted. It is vulnerable to a lot of removal still, and obviously if your opponent just removes it on their turn, you're going to be big sad. But draw 2 is good, really, really good, and late game you can just spam that. Although personally I am quite a fan of this recently developing Don minus Mill hand control strategy that I've seen develop in purple, which might be better than this plussing version, but I do like this card. The fact it doesn't have counter is probably going to make it a bit meh, but we'll see. Then we got a vanilla in Gordon. Shiki. If you have 8 or more Don cards on your field, this character cannot be KO'd in battle. I really like this card. This essentially means that you can only get KO'd by massive, like really expensive late game removal or bouncing effects from like Sables. Or because, you know, attacks aren't going to do anything. This means that you can freely swing with this guy every single turn, and your opponent is just going to have to waste hard removal on it, and that's really good. This is one of the cards I think with the most generic like usability in purple. You're just gonna see splashed because you don't need any synergy, and it's just powerful. I think this is definitely one of the best cards in the starter deck. This card is not good. Okay, then we've got Z. If this character battles with a strike attribute character, it gains 3k during this turn, and activate main once per turn, Don -1, this gains 2k during this turn. So obviously, you know, being able to make it 10k is scary. It being a base 8k is, but the problem is, okay, it's a base 8k, so, you know, all the removal that you're main decking for Kid is immediately going to hit this guy, and and it's still vulnerable to like most of the same forms of removal, in particular Sables, but it is less vulnerable to those hard removals. So I do think this card is also okay, but you know, there's a real big difference between 7 drops and 6 drops. So I am curious to see how good this card ends up being. It seems fine, but it doesn't, like, you know, I really like my big units to be very proactive or doing something like, you know, scary. Like 7 drops and bigger, I feel I have to do something really proactive. 6 is like the cutoff where I'm okay with it doing not that much. So yeah, I don't know, this is a bit iffy on this. Douglas Split, 8 drop 10k. Activate main once per turn, Don -4. Rest up to 2 of your opponent's cost 6 or lower characters, then this character gains double attacks. Obviously, this is crazy, right? Like, this is just, this is going to do something on the turn you play it if you want it to. You can Don -4 to just start clearing your opponent's board if you have a developed board yourself. And then on every turn subsequently, like, if this card sticks around, which it's overwhelmingly likely going to, like, it's a 10k, there's not really any ways to rest 8 drop 10ks. There's not really, you know, removing this. The only real way that happens is with a round table Robin combo in red, which, you know, they are probably main decking, but still, yeah, like, this is very difficult to remove. It's overwhelmingly likely going to hang around, and as soon as it does, like, this is a win con, right? Like, no blockers basically allowed, and this is going to hit super hard. I think this is, like, definitely going to be one of the win cons of the deck. It seems very, very strong. It also seems like it's quite a splashable, like, scary late game card. So yeah, I think this is really, really good. And then we got a vanilla, and the vanilla and Dr. Indigo. Let's talk about Buena Vista real quickly here, because this is amazing. On play, look at the top 5, add a film. So obviously we know this effect is good, but it's also a 2k counter. So yeah, they just get a 2k counter in army. I mean, basically my only thing here is, like, I don't know how many film type cards you are actually going to be playing in the film type deck. I understand, like, the synergies and stuff, but I don't know. It seems to me like the best cards are cards you could just put, like, in other decks, which obviously isn't fantastic. But we've got some events to talk about here, which are really, really good. So the first one here, we'll talk about Union Armada. So counter up to one of your film type characters. Oh, you can't really see that here. Let me just, nope. Okay, sorry, you're just going to have to trust me. Counter up to one of your film type leader or characters gains 4k power during this battle, so on 2, that's fine. And if that card is a character, it cannot be KO'd during this turn. So obviously this is being film attributed, is very restrictive, but the fact that it stops your character from being KO'd is potentially very, very powerful. And then the trigger adds 1 card from the Don deck and sets it active. So if you're going full in on this film attribute, then this card is probably quite good. I'm doubtful that you actually will. In my opinion, the far more interesting card is this. 3 drop, Lion's Threat, Imperial Earthbind. Don -2. KO up to one of your opponent's 5 cost or lower characters. And as a trigger, you get a Don and set it as active. There's not that much removal of 5 drops or lower. Like, it exists, but a lot of it's tied to units. Or, like, events that are, like, you know, 6 drops or something. So the fact that you can, like, yeah, okay, this is Don -2, but this is, like, amazing value to just, like, deal with something. Like, you know, later, and remember, like, you know, you're paying the 3, but then you're losing the 2. So, like, it's setting you back, but it only costs 1 of your, like, usable Don that turn. I mean, I don't know. I think this is really, really powerful. You know, lots of blockers in this game are 5 drop or lower. Like, the vast majority are 5 drop or lower. You know, this is dealing with Queen. This is dealing with, like, Bar Hancock. This is dealing with, like, Uta and, like, you know, whatever blockers you want. I don't know. I think this is one of those things that's just going to make its way into normal purple. But there we go. That is the starter deck 05. What's my opinion? I think it's really good. I have to play it to find out, because obviously, like, you know, we're beyond starter deck only meta, and set one is very, very different, and I'd be very interested to see how this fares, but I definitely think there's a lot of pieces in here that Purple and Blurple are just going to be very happy to see. So if you enjoyed this video, please do like, subscribe for more content. Expect a leader tier list coming out soon, from this very early meta. Expect also lots of discussions of the current tournaments. I've been waiting a little bit. I haven't wanted to get those out immediately because it's so early. I don't want to give you guys information that's going to be outdated almost instantly. I'd like something vaguely representative for when this game comes to English, but yeah. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.